Why do so many people throw out their backs, maybe even you, by just lifting something off the ground? It can happen fast with one wrong move, or a lot of times it builds up gradually after a lot of wrong moves. No matter how it happens, suddenly you're stuck in pain for days or even weeks. So, today, let me show you the worst way to lift objects off the floor, especially heavy objects, why it wrecks your back, and how to do it right. Let's start off, and I'm going to show you how not to do it and how too often this is probably how you do it, whether you're lifting something, somewhat light to even moderately heavy, where you're not really thinking about it, or if you're doing it repetitively. Oftentimes this is how you do it incorrectly during the day. And even before I start the video, you see how I am leaning down, rounding my spine, creating an excessive hunchback, if you will, in the mid back. I'm not keeping a nice arch in my low back, which will come into play on the next, on the correct way to do it. You'll see how I'm doing that. And I'm not using the hips, I'm using my spine and back to pick this up. So you see, bending down, rounding the back, this is the incorrect way to do it. Setting it down, same thing. Even in the video, I should have had my feet a little bit closer together, because that's a common mistake too, is not getting a wide enough base to where it gives you a better base of support and better balance. But we want to, and you want to make sure you're not doing this. You don't want to bend from your back, round your back. We want to keep the low back, mid back, neck nice and neutral. Keep the nice natural curves of the spine. We want to use our hips, which again, let's go on to how to actually do it. Here's the first way that I recommend doing it, because it's more practical throughout your day. And yes, I'm being robotic as I show you this, because I want you to see the form. See, I'm accentuating the low back curve, all right, or the natural arch of the low back. I definitely wanted you to see that there. I'm keeping the spine straight, because we actually have an arch in the low back, keeping it pretty flat in the mid back, and then keeping our head and neck neutral, even with the hips, with the rest of our spine. And as I do this, this is called a hip hinge, or you're hinging at the hips. Your butt goes back first. Your hips are almost like it's reaching back, creating space for your chest to go down, for your shoulders to stay over your feet. Hips go back. There's a slight bend in your knees. And depending on how far you have to get down towards the floor, you'll be bending your knees more, obviously, the more that you have to get down if something's closer to the floor. This puts the work and the contraction, or the load on the hips, because you want to squeeze your hips, squeeze your butt, and even your legs as you go down. Another thing I want to mention with this is, you can't see it here, but what you also want to do is you want to hold your stomach tight. It's called an abdominal brace, and I'll link to a video showing you how to do that. But that's even precedes the movement. You contract your abs, or you do this abdominal brace maneuver, hold that tight, and that stabilizes your low back and your spine as you do this. So hips go back, and to get down towards the object, you bend your knees, but you see you're not doing a knee bend or a squat. That's the next one I'm going to show you. This allows you to load up your hips, the strong, big muscles of your hips, and allows the shoulders to stay over your feet, okay, on top of your feet. And you're not hurting your low back doing this. So this comes into play in a lot of different activities during the day, which I'll get into later. But now let's go into another technique, which is another great way to do this, is using a squat. And this is one that I think most of you, or you've probably learned before, is using your legs to lift. And this is what they're talking about. This definitely is a great technique to use if you're lifting something that's heavier, or you perceive as it's going to be heavy, or a chore to lift it up. it's almost like your body automatically goes into this position knowing, okay, I need to brace it. So you know that this is a great movement to use. And this is a squat rather than a hinge. You see how I'm taking my butt down, bending my knees at the same time. So it's a squat. Now, this, it's not as practical or as not as every day, I say. I mean, yes, we do it every day, but with certain activities, which again, you'll see in a second, this doesn't lend itself to certain activities that you're doing throughout your day where you need to bend from the hips, but you can't really squat down because it's prohibitive of getting the job done and what you need to do. So again, great technique. Back, spine stays neutral, slight bend in or arch in your low back. Stomach, again, you can't see it, but precedes the movement. The abdominal brace, holding your stomach tight. I'll link to that video, like I said. So the hinge, the squat, both two really good techniques to use. So here are some examples. Yes, lifting things off the floor, boxes. Again, that's a really bad technique right there, isn't it? But getting it out, getting your shoulders away from your body, getting your trunk away from your body, putting way too much stress on the entire spine, but especially your low back. And even these everyday activities where we're not lifting heavy things, but it comes into play like picking up toys, putting away toys. It might not even be off the floor. Like, for example, look at this here. It's going into a toy box, leaning over your workstation, getting in this poor posture. Here, same thing, golfing, right? These sporting activities that we do that we don't even think, okay, am I using the correct form when I'm getting the golf ball, lifting that from lifting it off the ground or from the cup? Tennis ball, pickleball, lifting the ball up if it's on the ground to get in the ready position, washing your face, washing your hands. So this is what I was talking about where the hip hinge comes into play more than what the squatting motion does. Because typically you're not going to squat down to put toys away. You're not going to really squat down over your workstation if the computer is lower, but you can do the hip hinge. Same thing here. You probably won't even squat down to pick up the golf ball, pickleball, basketball, uh, tennis ball, whatever sport you're playing, but you can do the hip hinge. It's a more natural movement that you do every day, and especially washing your hands, washing your face, washing dishes, emptying the dishwasher, vacuuming, sweeping. You're not really squatting down as much as you are using a hinging type motion like that first yes video that I showed you. And if you actually want to get into this and go into, dozens of different activities of how to use the correct form to make these movements safer, smoother, pain-free. Definitely, I'll provide this link for this everyday posture plan, how to adjust your lifestyle to move easily and pain-free of all these different activities that and movements that you are doing throughout your day that could be and probably are harming your spine, setting you up for either immediate pain or pain a day from now, a week from now, a month from now, and then all of a sudden you're wondering, why did my back go out? I didn't do anything. Well, this trains your spine, trains your body, trains these movements on how to do it correctly so that doesn't happen. And then also, if you're already in pain, shows you how to do these common everyday activities with the right posture. So I'll provide a link for that in the description, but also in the comments. So check that out. And in the meantime, and with this video and with this everyday posture plan, that's what we're going to do to help you be your own guarantee for your health in your life. Until next time, enjoy.